Goeiedag almal en welkom. Today we are going to start with a basic but one of the most important taal in Afrikaans. Verlede tyd, or as we know it in English, past tense. What is verlede tyd? Verlede tyd is taking a sentence from something that is happening now to something that has happened already. And for that, you need to use het and ge. Notice how I use purple for my het and blue for my ge. So this is just to make it easier for you to identify your het and ge when you do use it in your sentence. But what do you do with your het and ge, you may ask? Het goes in place of your verb and ge goes to the end of your sentence with your verb. They go together to the end. When your sentence is given to you, it is important to remember that it will be given to you in the present tense, in teenwoordige tyd. You then have to take that sentence and turn it into the past tense, something that has happened already. Remember that. So think of it. You see a boy kicking the ball. Later on, you meet a friend and you tell him, the boy kicked the ball. What you have done is take something happening to something that's happened. Okay, so here's an example for you. Die seun skop die bal. Translated in English, the boy kicks the ball. When answering verlede tyd in exam, or any rule for that matter, I like to follow an order. And my order for verlede tyd is as follows. The first thing you're going to do is identify your verb. Find your verb, and then you underline it or you label it. It's good to do this because then you know you can't make the mistake of putting your verb somewhere else. A lot of the time children make the mistake of taking the wrong word to the end of the sentence. But when I ask what's the verb in the sentence of die werkwoord, they know the word. Okay, so by identifying your verb, underlining it and labeling it, and then drawing your line to take it to the end of the sentence will only help you to get the correct word at the end. The next thing you then need to do is put het in place of your verb. Thereafter, you take your verb to the end of the sentence. Now I want you to think of it as this. Het is that boy or girl or that person who always takes your place in the line. And you, the verb, who needs to go to the end of the line all the time. If you ask me really, het is our bully here, isn't it? But anyway, the last part is your ge. Ge always goes with the verb to the end of the sentence. So, wouldn't ge be your best friend? Best friend would go wherever you would go. Right, so here I have my sentence. Die seun skop die bal. What's the first thing I need to do? Identify my verb. For my younger viewers, identify means to look, to find. I need to find my verb, my doing word. So in the sentence, what can I do? Scope. Very, very nice. So scope would be my verb. I now label it and then I draw my line to show where my verb is going to go. Okay, now I start answering. So I start by writing my sentence. Die seun. I will no longer have skop there because I'm going to move skop. In place of that, I will have my het. So het, which will go in place of the verb. I then have the rest of my sentence, die bal. And finally, I have my verb with my ge. So, ge skop. And at the end, my answer would be, die seun het die bal geskop. Okay, it's a very basic lesson of verlede tyd, more for the grade 2s, 3s, 4s, 5s on how to do verlede tyd. That's all for today, guys. Remember, practice makes perfect, so do many, many more examples if you want to get better at any rule of Afrikaans. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that I have helped you in some way. For now, as a tot ziens.